Great to be here on a Hump of the Week Wednesday.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Be a part of the conversation by sending your messages through WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. That's the number. Again, 0809-444-0981. You can tweet at Smooth981FM with the hashtag Business Express 981. I was streaming live on YouTube, so you can watch as well.
Yes, of course, they can stream on YouTube as well. Lots to discuss. The OPEC decision yesterday, where they essentially said that they will gradually increase outputs in June and July. OPEC is saying that, look, the demand outlook looks good. It looks optimistic. Vaccinations across the developed world are, sufficiently being scaled. Look at the United States. Look at Biden. What a president. The man came out with 100 million vaccinations. He hit his targets. He hit his target before the time he said he would hit it. He said, let's do 200 million vaccinations. Yes. So what's going on there? We look at recent manufacturing information coming out of China. The developed world is what is pushing oil demand. So this summer, we should see more people driving. Look at Memorial Day weekend. The movies, A Quiet Place 2, had like a new box office record. It beats what the record, that's the COVID era opening movie record, weekend opening in the United States, beat the record that's set by Godzilla versus Kong. So you look at all these factors, more people are going to the movies, more people are going out, summer is coming, there should be more demand for air travel, so on and so forth. In the West, I emphasize, in the West. So that is giving OPEC the impetus to say that, well, it looks like things are improving. However, they tempered that optimism by saying that, look, COVID cases in India, and I think Japan had a recent flare-up. I can't remember which other country has had a recent flare-up. Those are giving them a little bit of cause for optimism. Also,
Brazil as well.
Yeah, Brazil as well. I need to send you this chart from OPEC's April monthly report for April. In the charts, or rather the table, Nigeria is at the bottom. So you'll see the average. They're looking at average production per year. Nigeria is at 1.7 million barrels per day for 2019. That now dropped to, all right, so I just sent it to you on WhatsApp right now. So that now dropped to 1.4 million barrels per day. Now in 2020. Now, the thing is, if you look on the table, you'll see Iran is blank, right? Iran has, because of the sanctions from the United States, Donald Trump and his own issues with Iran, the nuclear, so there was a nuclear agreement with respect to Iran giving up its nuclear proliferation exercises in exchange for being allowed to being able to export oil. Barack Obama's administration and Biden, when Biden was vice president, negotiated that. Trump took that away and imposed sanctions. So there it is. So you can see Nigeria at the bottom there, 1.7 million barrels per day, 2020, 1.4. Look at Iran. I circled Iran in red, completely blank. Yeah.
Yeah.
If Iran comes back, and the talks that have been ongoing right now, the diplomatic talks, I think in Finland or Switzerland, somewhere in Europe or somewhere, that's where they're talking to Iran. They're saying that, look, if things go well, we will allow Iran back into the market. Iran is going to bring, what's Iran's capacity? Is it 2.5 million barrels per day? 1.8, 2.5 or so. It could be as high as 3 million barrels per day. If Iran comes back, that's more supply added to the markets, which will supply demand, will depress oil prices. Be that as it may, those are the concerns that OPEC has. Now, as far as Nigeria is concerned, at the bottom there, you can see what complying with OPEC means for our production. It reduces our outputs, which reduces the amount of money we can make from oil sales. Nigeria also has production issues with respect to vandalism and oil theft and smuggling. I hear there's some power issue at the Bonga production field, the Bonga field, that is holding back about anywhere from 800,000 to 1 million barrels per day. So we've got our own production issues, but OPEC's cuts that we have to comply with are part of that. So while they're optimistic about what's going on in the United States, look at the UK. The UK recorded no COVID deaths for the first time in last week or yesterday. That's what's making news in the UK. So things are improving. Yesterday. So while that's improving, there's also the concerns of COVID in Japan, in Brazil, in India, and then Iran coming back. So you put those two together, if they try to have a balanced view, it didn't matter. Oil prices, they've crossed $70 a barrel now. I think they're like 71 because of the fact that OPEC is going to be controlling their outputs, outlay over the coming months. So as far as we're concerned, higher oil prices are good for us in respect to the revenue that we're going to be bringing in. However, if they are sustained over time, you're going to now see the flip side of that, where we're still importing refined crude, and the landing cost of fuel is going to go up. You know, NNPC already put out, I've talked about NNPC times without number, or almost every day now, but they've repeatedly said that, look, this under recovery subsidy thing is not sustainable. We can't afford it. And so that's that as far as oil and gas is concerned. That was the big news from yesterday, the OPEC decision from their joint.
Yes. Benga he has a reaction to that. He says higher oil prices is a bag of mixed emotions. Though we may be earning more money, our cost of alleged subsidies will go up too. Which way Nigeria, he's asking. This was
exactly. So he's exactly right. He's exactly right. He also here heirs holdings. I think the H is silent. Some people say heirs, but I think the heir to the throne. So I think it's heirs holdings. Yeah. They launched two insurance companies yesterday. Heirs Life Insurance and Life Assurance. They want to jump into the insurance game. Nigeria, has, with our large population, we've got a very low insurance penetration rate. I think I mentioned the fire at Ladipo, the spare parts area. Spare parts markets, which, by the way, all the spare parts are imported. On Sunday, big fire there, although Lasima was able to go there and temper down the fires and put them down, but there was a lot of damage. Micro insurance, you need micro insurance. I mean, how many fires? INEC, although that one is political. There was a fire in Imo State. They burnt Imo State. Imo State.
That's actually the reaction, to be honest, because things that are happening there, it's crazy.
Imo State. I thought Rivers was the hotbed of violence. I thought Rivers.
No, it can't be. You know why it can't be? Because of the governor they have. Wike. You see how he is? You see how he goes after people? You can't misbehave.
I'm afraid of Nelson Wike. I'm afraid of him. When he talks, have you heard his voice when he talks?
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't send. Like, what do you want to? You want to bring your toutish behavior to Rivers? He's going to chase you out with a bigger one.
Well, Imo State, look, unemployment, underemployment combined, 82%. It's the highest as of the Bureau of Statistics result. Was it Q4 or Q1? Q4 2020 unemployment. It's really, so Imo State is. But anyway, my point is that the fires you're seeing everywhere, I can't really bring up Imo State and those are political, but fires in markets, fires here and there, you need micro insurance to be able to get there and maybe form a cooperative, so that a number of businesses can get together and say, okay, this is how we'll combine our forces and get better insurance. Anyway, the insurance sector, lots of growth. Yeah.
And it's owned by Tony Elumelu and his partners, yes?
Oh, yes, the big boss, the big one. He's the chair of the Heirs Holdings, chair of UBA, chair of Transcorp. You know, he used to follow Tony Elumelu on Instagram. His Instagram is awesome. He does yoga and all these things. Finally, the Federal Ministry of Works Housing said they received 75 bids, for road concession. That's our former governor of Lagos State there. It's Babatunde Raji Fashola, who I was hoping would run for president in the times past, years past. I was big fan of his. But
was that before or after the camcorder experience?
This was before. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. This was way before. That camcorder, I haven't heard anything since then. So they have an HDMI, which is a management. In fact, I need to get what HDMI initiative. It's an initiative that is supposed to promote road infrastructure in the country. Highway Development and Management Initiative. Thank you. Highway Development and Management Initiative. That's HDMI. So they're concession some roads out to the private sector. Benin Asaba, Abuja Lokoja, Kaduna Kano, Onisha Owerri, Shagamu Benin, Abuja Kefi, a number of federal roads that they want to concession out to the private sector. But I've always wondered and they've received bids 75 according to there was interest. how are you going to make money back on those roads?
Tolls.
That is literally the, thank you. That's the only way.
That's the most, I mean, I feel like that's the most reasonable way out for them.
Right. So if I'm going to, I can't. And so, but what's the sentiment of Nigerians to roads? I'm sorry, to tolls, right? How do we feel about tolls? Are you going to make your money back? And then insecurity. A lot of the insecurity on these roads.
Which is why tolling can make sense for this kind of thing. But use Lekki Ekpe, that's the nearest one as reference.
Right.
Right.
Remember
the toll payments, right, that we make take care of not just the maintenance of the roads itself, but also traffic, also emergency services in terms of cars breaking down, and you have trucks already there, like LCC management immediately swooping down to pick up the car and provide some initial assistance, at least to move the vehicles out. And you find that they also provide some level of security for the access roads that they toll. So these are some of the ad hoc services that the management who decides to toll the road, or by extension is probably the private company that decides to take up the bid to construct that road, would take care of. And I think it should be part of the MOU that will be signed by the federal government and that party.
Excellent example. Now you're using Lagos, you're using Lekki, right? That's an affluent area. Lagos State has the highest internally generated revenue in this country. Some of those other, other roads,
interior locations.
So there's still going to be, you using the example of the tolls, the road services. Those are excellent examples. It's just that we'll have to see how that works out going forward. It's a good initiative. Also, if you're going to toll a road, is there the obligation to have an alternative route so that people who don't want to pay can use that alternative route? That's another
smart thought.
Yeah, so so all these things you gotta put all these things on the table.
And that's going to increase transport fare as well.
Oh, of course, transport fare. Did I talk about between the Marketplace, Business Hub, Business Express, and all the business shows? I can't really remember what it is that I've talked about, but I think I might have mentioned the Bureau of Statistics reports they released over the weekend. Transport fare, bus fare jumped 72%. Motorcycles, Okada jumped 82% year on year. So those fares are still climbing. So as you've rightly mentioned, that of course is something to put into. But look, we need the development. The road networks, and we need waterways, because funny enough, and it sounds ironic, for you to maintain roads, you need less people using those roads, so those roads don't get as damaged. Which it sounds counterintuitive, but if you improve waterways and other means of transportation for
train services, yes.
You have less people on those roads. So
a friend of mine visited from Port Harcourt. From Port Harcourt, he visited from Port Harcourt last week, and he used the train from Lagos train station to Ibadan, and he chronicled his trip. Like he put a story together about his trip, his experience, shared his experience, and shared the fare at the train station that I think was Bariga. So that he took a train that he had 3 classes, like the economy class, business class, and first class. First class was 6,000 naira from Lagos to Lagos. And he showed, he went around with a camera showing how you have the dispenser there, the executive comfortable chairs. But he mentioned that the trains were exceptionally slow. So I guess that could be, a factor, of the routes that was taken. But anyway,
it's progress, or we can improve.
It's progress, right? They're very clean trains, by the way, train carriages. Benga Komo says, why do we have so many fires in markets in Nigeria? Do they not have protection or prevention measures in these markets? I do not understand. Benga, when was the last time you went to the market? Really? Darwin says, can't we get more creative with abbreviations? The only thing that comes to mind when I hear HDMI is a cable. Honestly, not the only one. Prince says, the people that bid it, and just as a side thought, when we were talking about that HDMI one, as soon as you mentioned the acronym, I was just thinking the guys who came up with this name probably were looking for different combinations that could stick. Then when that one
that's why
like, yep.
That's why I couldn't remember it at first. I was trying to remember what it was. I was like, wait.
Prince says the people that bidded has done their homework. One of our subsidiaries bidded. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Prince.
So Prince, we've run out of time, but I guess Prince, you tell us how you plan to make money from it.
Yes.
Tomorrow, yes. Prince, you tell us that. Prince, let's know.
Prince, please share. Thank you. Yinka Bolu says, add channel to that list of Tony's chain of businesses. for road tolling, and I have no problem with that. But two things: will that amount to double taxation? How about alternative routes? Thank you. Rotus has mentioned that, and Benga says, how affordable are the trains? I already told you the cost. Economy, I think 4,000. Business 5,000. First class 6,000. So you can take the trains to Ibadan in style. Rotus, we're out of time.